New developments in the attack on two NYPD officers in Times Square. Today, Governor Hochul was fuming over the attack, even threatening to deport the migrants who were involved.
So the governor of New York now wants the migrants to be deported. We've come full circle.
Listen, I know we have a giant left-wing audience, and I love you guys. Please don't give in to some knee-jerk reaction to provide cover for these people. These are not people you need to provide cover for. These are people who are in the country claiming asylum. They don't have a right to be here. It is a privilege to be able to take advantage of our asylum program and be able to claim asylum, claim that you're here because of whatever reason. I don't know exactly which reason they gave for their asylum claim. And you get to have your case adjudicated in front of a judge. But if you're causing all sorts of chaos, and if you're assaulting police officers, like the idea that we're not even having a conversation about immediately deporting them is ridiculous. But then not only that, they get arrested and immediately released without bail because of bail reform in New York. That's insane, right? Am I crazy? I don't know. I feel like I've lost my mind at this point. I feel like I'm gonna get like an onslaught of ridiculous harassment because I think people seeking asylum and taking up finite resources that could be given to another asylum seeker who isn't causing problems. It's ridiculous.
So our story begins in Times Square where a couple of cops were trying to break up a group of migrants.
Look at this insane video. A group of migrants in New York City are arrested after attacking NYPD officers in Times Square. 5 were arrested and 4 are already released without bail.
All right, the brawl started when 2 officers were trying to break up a rowdy crowd near a migrant shelter on 42nd Street. While arresting one of the men, the other said, hey, I'm not going to just sit there. I'll jump in. I'll start kicking. I'll start punching the officers. After all, I don't belong in this country anyway. I could beat up an NYPD officer. What'll actually happen? The Manhattan DA's office saying it's investigated the incident as police search for 5 other men involved. Every part of this incident could have been avoided if you didn't allow 67,000 people to call New York home who don't belong here. And what happened is, instead of being grateful, they're creating chaos. They get free food, free laundry. Right. They can do whatever they want, free shelter. And when they start fighting each other and NYPD comes to enforce the law, they beat up the cops.
So as you heard, cops are beaten by a gang and they're released the next day. That's bail reform in New York. Now, bail reform in New York is so bad, the mayor and all the local leaders have come out and said, we need to change bail reform because if you beat up cops, the way the law is written now, you must be released the same day. Here's the mayor talking about how bad bail reform is.
Mayor Adams and the NYPD officials took to the podium today to say our current criminal justice system simply isn't working.
Yeah, recidivism rates are up and courtrooms are now becoming revolving doors for repeat offenders.
Our criminal justice system is insane.
Mayor Eric Adams not holding back on his strong criticism of the state's bail laws, saying that it's failing to keep recidivists in pretrial detention.
It is dangerous, it is harmful, and it's destroying the fabric of our city.
Recidivists are driving crime in New York City, according to the mayor and NYPD officials. The mayor outlines what he called the worst of the worst criminals. 716 individuals, the NYPD says, are responsible for 30% of shooting incidents in New York City since 2021. 54% of these individuals have an open felony.
New York remains the only state that prevents judges from considering the threat to public safety when making custody determinations.
The mayor and police commissioner have repeatedly called for state lawmakers to add a clause to New York's bail laws that would allow a judge to determine a defendant's dangerousness when setting bail. But this so-called dangerousness clause has been a non-starter for state lawmakers who have refused to take up the measure.
Okay, so you heard that. Now that has led to some crazy consequences. For instance, you have people who've been arrested like 100 times and gets released every time out on bail, like this guy. He's been arrested for over 100 times for shoplifting, and he's let out every time, same day. Why? Bail reform. Now, the migrants know this. So you know what they do? They go to New York and commit all their crimes, and then go spend the money at Florida. And listen to what the NYPD found out about these migrants who did this whole beating up of the cops. Listen to why they leave Florida, come to New York, do all their crimes, and then go back to Florida. It's shocking.
There is this 1%er, criminal element that looks at a different opportunity here. These individuals, I went over their rap sheets yesterday, multiple charges, grand larceny, robbery, attempted robbery, grand larceny, grand larceny. This particular crew operated on mopeds and scooters. They were doing organized retail theft. They were doing snatches on the street, iPhones, iPads, clothing, so on and so forth. One of them that they are still seeking has 10 charges on one day because he's part of a pattern that's been going on. And I'm looking at the dates that their arrest started, which is probably close to when they got here. They've only been here a couple of months. So what the detectives are telling me is they have crews here that operate in New York, do all their stealing, then go to Florida to spend the money and then come back. And I'm like, well, why don't they just stay and steal in Florida? And they said, because there you go to jail.
Oh.
Wow.
Great reporting.
Keep us posted on this.
So these migrants are now out in the street after beating up 2 cops because of bail reform. But that's not the end of the issue. Because then you would say, well, why can't we deport them? Right? They're out there beating up our law enforcement officers. Well, that's because New York State and New York City is a sanctuary city and sanctuary state. Meaning that the local officials will not report these gentlemen to ICE. They will not report these gentlemen to federal authorities so they can be deported. That's New York State's policy. That's New York City's policy. And they're proud of their status as a sanctuary city. Check it out.
You pledged during your campaign to keep New York City a sanctuary city. Do you have any concern that policy is attracting more people to the border, more people to cross the border to make that dangerous trip?
No, not at all. The city has always been a sanctuary city, and we've always managed those who wanted to come to New York City to pursue the American dream.
Now, as you can see, the mayor was happy with being a sanctuary city. And then the governor, on top of that, literally begged migrants to come to the city.
As you know, the Statue of Liberty is inscribed. It says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled young masses yearning to be free, the wretched refuse to a teeming shore. And that statement encapsulates our values. We want people to come here, despite where they came from or despite the circumstances that drove them to this country and to this state. We say you are welcome here. We are welcome with open arms, and we'll work to keep you safe. We'll not only house you, but we'll protect you. And the richness of the culture and the diversity and the food and the restaurants that we know are going to be coming because of these efforts are beyond measure. It's an extraordinary part of our story, and it's woven into the story of New York, and it makes us more vibrant.
So if you are an illegal immigrant, New York is a fantastic place. Commit whatever crime you want. They'll let you out the same day. They're going to give you housing. And they want you to come there. And don't worry about that ICE stuff and being deported. We're not going to deport you. We're going to keep you safe. No matter what you do. Beat up a couple of cops. Don't worry about it. We're a sanctuary city. So with all these great benefits, illegal aliens started going there en masse. So many, matter of fact, that New York had to declare a state of emergency.
The New York City Mayor Eric Adams declaring a state of emergency over the ever-escalating number of asylum seekers coming to the city. The mayor says the shelter system is overwhelmed and that after today, the city will set a new record for the highest number of people ever in the system.
Although our compassion is limitless, our resources are not. Our shelter system is now operating near 100% capacity. This is unsustainable.
Now, the governor of New York started changing her tune after they started getting over with migrants. She then went on TV and said, hey, if you're coming from some other country, don't come to New York, go somewhere else. Remember, she was begging people to come there. Now the message is go somewhere else.
But we have to let the word out that when you come to New York, we're not going to have more hotel rooms. We don't have capacity. So we have to also message properly that we're at our limit. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else.
It's too good. She's gone from open arms to go somewhere else. Call it heartless, call it a stunt. The GOP governor's plan to send migrants to blue cities is working.
And now, because the laws in New York are so friendly to criminals with bail reform, the governor has kind of given up on the whole sanctuary city thing. She's saying, send them back.
As the governor joined those who are calling for any undocumented attackers on police to be deported.
Get them all and send them back. You don't touch our police officers. You don't touch anybody.
So the governor, who is pro-sanctuary city and is a sanctuary state, is now saying, deport them, send them back, and go somewhere else. It's wild to watch these political hypocrites like have to suffocate on their own policies. All these policies were bad policies to begin with, but it sounds good on the campaign trail. But now that you have to actually live with them, now you see she's turned into Trump, essentially. Send them back. Send them back where? Before it was all, we want you here, we love you, come. Now it's, get the hell out of here. Now, don't get me wrong. I agree. I think they should go, right? These are criminals, right? They should go. If you're here and you're involved in criminal activity and they catch you, you need to go back. Unfortunately, hey, you need to go back. I know it's tough, but that's just the way it is. Or come legally. As always, tell me where I'm wrong in the comment section. Tell me that, Nate, you're anti-immigrant, you're a maniac. But if you're going to say that, make sure you tell me why in the comment section. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.